Hey guys, we're just taking a break real quick from the chassis. I've ordered tubing and brackets and all that stuff to try to get it back to where it needs to be. While we're waiting on those parts and pieces to be delivered, I decided we'd go ahead and tear down this engine. It's a mess. It's covered in oil and mud and dirt, and it just needs a good cleaning. But outside of that, we also have a few things we've been keeping our eye on. I want to go ahead and check those things out, see how bearings and all that's going with the new oiling system. So let's tear this thing down, dig into it, and just see what we can find. Hopefully there's nothing major wrong. It felt free when I was taking the torque converter loose, so we just need to make sure everything's good, and then of course give it a really good clean. That'll give us a start on getting it rebuilt and ready for the car when it's ready. That way it's not a mad thrash of trying to figure out what's going on with the engine before we can go racing. I'm trying my best to schedule everything so that we can get this thing back on the track and get some good passes under us. Let's tear in this thing. As you can tell, this is, if you're familiar with the 24 valve Vr6 stuff, this is not stock cover for the head. I believe the DDT stuff. A lot of people get caught up in that, but honestly, you can do everything you need to do through Fuel Tech, so it's not necessary. And it's just one less thing to hassle with as far as something going wrong. These are probably these two bolts right here are probably the most aggravating for this setup. Just because we're located, my transmission bell housing comes right here, makes it very tough. I've made it where I can get them on and off. That way if I need to do something with cams or pull the head at the track, we can, but they're still aggravating. They were the same way on the 12 valve, so basically the same cover. But we're gonna get this head off, and then we're gonna flip it over and pull off the oil pan. The oil pan has a girdle in it, so we gotta get all that loose. Saw me hesitate. I always worry about getting this right here right. So since I know this cam here is set up right, I don't want to mess it up. I'm just gonna take it out complete. But this helps me get things taken out a little easier. Next, we gotta get these cam bolts, the caps off, and get the cams out. That's one thing I didn't foresee when we started trying the 24 valve stuff, is you can't get the head bolts loose without the cams out. That's a little aggravating, especially when you get things timed in, you want to leave it alone, but that is what it is, and we deal with it. We have marks to go by, so I try to make sure I have pinpoint places and marks to go by, just to make the process a lot easier and get it back together. Everything we try to do is to get it apart and back together as quick as we can. Just like taking the body off the car, you know, it comes off really fast so we can get to the chassis or whatever we need to do. So everything's about speed, not only on the track, but also off the track. You just got to be quick at what you're doing so you can have quick turnaround time. Try to leave a couple sets in there gradual. That way when the spring pressure lets up, it's real bad on the studs as far as threads. Help protect stuff. I like to just put stuff back, nuts on there. I try to keep things organized in the tray, but for whatever reason, it seems like bolts or nuts seem to walk off sometimes. So fits right here. I know it's there when I'm ready to put it back together. We had to do a pretty good bit of work on this cylinder head, which all the cylinder heads we're going to use, but be sure and check your clearances on when you're using different cams and stuff like that. In this case, the rockers actually hit the base of the head. They were within a few thousandths of hitting, so they were going to hit. So we went ahead and eliminated that situation. So you guys tell me, when we get the car fixed, put back together with this setup, what do you think the best ET possible that we can get? I've done some numbers since the crash. There's some things I can change between tires and stuff like that to go quicker. Not necessarily in PDRA trim, but just in general. How quick do you think we can get this car to go? I have a number in mind. Some people said it would go even faster, but I sometimes think that's wishful thinking. But anyway, put down in the comments, what's the quickest you think we can go? Or what's a goal we should shoot for? Reasonable goal. It's probably going to take a little bit to get this thing off. I use, used to be K&W copper coat, but CRC bought it out. But it's a copper spray for head gaskets. And they usually stick really good. That's why I like it. You don't have to worry about it having leaks. It seals all your compression and everything really good. Sometimes taking head studs out, it's easier to get that gasket off. Don't get hung up. I make our head gaskets here in shop, and I make the tolerances pretty snug. That started from when I bought copper gaskets originally in the first engine build 10 years ago, 11 years ago. When I got it, you could take it. You see mine presses in tight, it doesn't move. But the ones we had bought, you could literally move 40 thousandths. Well, that doesn't work when you're trying to seal it up on the wire. You want these grooves to be tight. You want to be locked in place every time. So you can see where it puts that impression in the gasket to seal it off from any damage. There's some dirt where it's sucked in from the crash. Some grass. Alright, get the front motor plate off, timing cover off, and then we'll flip this thing over. You can see with the wall for my motor plates, we'll be doing that new, but I'm going to actually redo our motor mounts with the new chassis stuff. I have an idea that I think will work a lot better, make life easier. looking in here, can't tell. Possibly that rod has had some heat in it, or if it's just the oil sitting on it. But hopefully it's just oil, but kind of looks like it's been hot. Now normally I would take the rod bolt screws, do the rods, but I'm just gonna do this. We're taking it apart, so it just makes things a little easier to get to. The one I want to check is the rear. We had some trouble with it. It looks good. So that's good. Maybe that issue has been resolved. All right, so I'll go and take that out. Yeah, I believe I got hurt right there. Not sure why. I'll have to check into that. It could have got hurt when it busted the oil lines off in the rake. I don't know if it would have done it that quick, but it was still running for a little till I actually stopped against that return road. When I smacked it, that's when it finally died. So it was running for a little bit. So you never know. We'll check into it. When we got to pry the cap off, it's usually not a good sign. Yep. I don't think that's what we wanted to see, but there it is. On the 12 valve stuff, there was always number one main. So if you've seen videos, I had to actually reroute the oil to get to work. I've been thinking about doing that with this. They actually moved the problem here back to here, and that's what we've been watching to see if it was an issue or not. And I've done a few little things. I'm thinking about doing something else to try to maybe get more oil down the crank instead of it escaping all the way to the head. So that may be what this is, or it could be simply from the wreck. So we'll go through that. It looks like it's been running a while. I don't think that's from the wreck. So we'll just go through and diagnose it and see what's going on, and then try to figure out what we can do to save that. There's a couple more things I can try. I just wanted to see what this new setup would do, and then go from there. So probably gonna wind up adding some of the features that we made and developed in the 12 valve and put it in the 24 valve. I really hope that they'd solve the issue because they reversed everything, but everything else was really good. I mean, the coating's still in the bearings. Just that one got hurt, number 4, so it's kind of odd. Guys, you can see all the bearings look pretty good, but if you look right here, hand's missing. Well, that's cause it's stuck to the crank. So right here, I need to figure out how to get this off, but that's also right beside number 4. So we had a problem like this on a dyno. It was an oiling issue from lack of oil pressure. So I've got a feeling that's probably what this is from. So we'll work on the dry sump system and the oiling within the block and try to get that figured out, because that's still causing an issue. And I'm pretty sure that's what it's about, since we've already done it once before. I've never had any problems with bearings. On 12 valve in this area, it was always right here on number 1. You'd either do, not necessarily the main, but you'd always hit number 1 rod and hurt it. And there's a whole reason for that. And I can put a link in the description below and let you know what that's about. So other than that, it looks really good. But so that's it, guys. We got the Vr6 tore apart. We got know what the issue is, or where to go with that anyway. Put some new bearings in it, new crank. We'll replace this 1 rod, and then we'll work through the oiling system and try to get that figured out. We're almost there. You're going to find these little things as you keep pushing the envelope, and this is one we got to work through, but I feel like we're close. We just got to get it figured out. My oil pressure hasn't been as high as I wanted. I've talked to the pump manufacturer. We've been discussing that. There's just an issue there we've got to figure out. So anyway, thanks for watching. If you made it this far, I really appreciate it. I just appreciate it if you'd like, share, and just subscribe to the channel. And I appreciate it. We're going to keep pushing, and we're going to get the car back together, and we'll see if we can go faster. Appreciate it.